I'm going insane and I'm taking you all with me. It's the Easter edition of Sunday Night News and Nonsense. I got Deckard with me. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you doing, Spat?
Haven't seen much of you this week. Were you busy?
Very busy. It's been very hectic here lately.
Putting staples in people's computers, right?
Well, trying to at least. You know, sometimes we got to get the sledgehammer out and get that sucker in there, but we get it done nonetheless.
I have to ask you, though, did you pull an April Fool's joke, you know, where you basically take the keyboard off and then you basically put some grass seeds under the keyboard and then, have some light material so that you can have grass growing out of the keyboard and stuff? Have you seen that one? It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
So tell me, how's Linux Mint treating you these days?
You little.
And I have to ask, were you using the ATI drivers with it?
I'll be quite honest, I don't know what happened last week. It all started last year or several months ago with the 17.1, and Kden Live didn't work right. You and I talked about it. It wasn't just me. And it's Linux Mint has just never been right since. Now, the core system's fine. It all started downloading the extra stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for the show. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
And on the left side of the ring, we have Deckard Cain versus Total OS today. I mean, what was that you said last week, Deckard? Total BS today? We're going to duke it out, guys?
Yeah, Toss, what the hell, man? Where were you?
Hang on, let me adjust my pillow here.
Let's get this on recording here.
All right, Linux job market booms even as the server market disappears. It appears that Linux skills are in hot demand even as Linux server revenue evaporates to, quote, other. According to a new DICE report, the Linux job market remains sizzling hot. Nearly every single hiring manager surveyed, 97% of these, expects to hire more Linux talent relative to other skill areas in the next 6 months. In fact, Linux job growth outpaces Linux server growth. Not surprising considering the stability of Linux servers and that sort of thing, and the loads that they can handle. So, yeah, interesting stuff indeed.
That comes as no big surprise to me. Linux is a far superior operating system than Microsoft, and more and more we're seeing Linux be put on every type of machine for that fact, and because it's so configurable, it seems to be the only way to go, and it's about darn time that people start realizing that.
Yep, it's computing your way, not the Microsoft way. What you got, Deckard?
To go hand in hand with that, straight from Wired magazine, the title of this article is Microsoft, an open source Windows is definitely possible.
What?
Yes, no. This is very interesting.
Go on, let's hear it.
One of the people that's responsible for making Microsoft Windows was at ChefConf. It's a conference talking about a tool to help deploy machines. And he was talking about how an open source Microsoft is definitely possible. Now, I've got another article that sort of relates to this that I'll go over a little bit later. But what he's talking about is since Microsoft has open sourced the .NET framework, they're looking at creating either a fully open source Windows, so taking all of their products and making them open source, or B, creating a fork of Microsoft Windows that'll be open source. Now that may be... I can't remember where I had a discussion about this, but I had a discussion with somebody else about this, and they were saying, well, why would they ever want to do that? No one's going to pick up their OS. I mean, we were talking about the TCP/IP stack, which is, we nerd out a little bit on that sort of thing. But just the TCP/IP stack for Windows alone, if you look up articles comparing Linux, BSD, and Windows all together, just merely on networking protocol, you will see that Windows is just awful in every single way. And the leaked Microsoft source code from old versions of Windows, I think it was Windows NT and DOS that were available on some torrenting sites. You were looking through the code there, and it was just absolutely god-awful. So it'd be interesting to see this, but I don't think it'll come as any big surprise that no one's going to pick it up.
I don't know. Maybe somebody at Microsoft has been reading I forget the name of that article, Something and the Bizarre. And I read it recently, but I'm so wired on coffee, my brain isn't working right now. But it was a very good read about open source. And then, of course, Revolution OS, they talked, the author talked about that paper. And they had also talked about, when Netscape released source code and then they later became Mozilla, and Netscape, source code as a product and that sort of thing. And I mean, obviously, they're making money and it's open source, so maybe they're seeing that there could be a potential benefit in this because when you have a whole community working together to make something better, if they were to actually do that, that would probably be a pretty darn good solution. What do you say, Toss?
Microsoft, open source, and stability. This is all very amusing. I just wish Linux desktops could be as stable as Linux servers after what happened to me last week. I'm sorry, but this is what I had to go through last week. But I don't want Microsoft's system to go open source because that'll kill the quality and stability of it, at least for me. Now, I think the story is amusing. Can it go open source? Why would they want to do that? I mean, really, why?
Well,
now, just remember, we had April 1st earlier this week. So, and that's something I was going through when I was reading the news articles for the show this week. I was looking at the date on the articles because I was kind of wanting to skip away from anything dated April 1st or March 31st,
right.
I'm just looking for the date on this now.
Just
I can't
curious,
seem to find it. Yeah, but anyway, Mark Russinovich is the guy that said this, and he's one of the top engineers at Microsoft. And whether or not this is an April Fool's joke or not, I'm not too sure because I can't seem to find a date on this. But it's definitely a whole new Microsoft is what he said because, they open sourced .NET, which took a lot of people by surprise. But one thing I will say, if this is something that's truthful and they do make an open source Windows, beware developers, because they will most likely either make you license with a certain type of license or they're going to shark your idea. So be aware that, Microsoft, though it is a whole new group of people, it's still the same company it was, 10, 20 years ago, and they are all about the profits, and they will do anything to get it from you. So, beware of that sort of thing.
Yeah, the source may be open, but I'm sure, they're going to have some kind of license that is probably going to make Richard Stallman scream bloody murder. What you got, Toss?
Well, it is a brave new world, but I really don't want that. Okay, well, I have some gaming news for all the Xboxers out there. Halo 5 Guardians release date, October 27th, a bit earlier in the holiday season this year. According to the head of, I think it's 343 Industries, the very lovely Bonnie Ross, says that Halo 5 will deliver epic scope and scale and drama. Ooh, I got old goose pimples. But I hope so, because Halo 4, as much as I like it, was a little bit disappointing. Still a very good game and worth the money, but not quite as good as its predecessors. This one, from all that I've been reading, all they've been doing, the testing, the writing and development, this may prove to be the best game yet coming out this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
They got a lot of new games coming out, but I've been getting into some older games, something to keep in mind, kids, there are a lot of really great older games where people are still releasing awesome mods, thereby extending the life of your favorite games. Now, I don't know if they're doing that so much for the Xbox, but for instance, I've been getting back into playing Dragon Age Origins, and I played the main campaigns and all the DLCs through, and now I've just added a bunch of fan-made modules that's probably going to give me several months worth of material and new quests and new things to play. Some of the maps look really great and stuff like that. So why go out and spend money on a new game when, you can keep that old title and download some fan-made mods and really, just get more gameplay out of them.
There's nothing wrong with classic games for any platform. Lately, with this machine and these drivers, gaming seems to be okay for me in Linux. I know on a lot of the comments I get in that one video that I did, gaming is the number one issue for a lot of people who can't switch to Linux. Ironically, for me, that's not the number one issue. The number one issue is multimedia and applications getting the same quality or the same stability that I can. You and I talked about Kden Live, and it has its ups and downs. But surprisingly for me so far, gaming is not the number one issue.
Well, if you spent more time, I'm sorry, Decker. If you spent more time on the forum, you'd see that people have actually been discussing this, and it seems like the general consensus is a lot of DirectX 9 games are working very well in Linux with the latest versions of Wine and Play on Linux. A lot of games are working, especially when you're trying to install them through the Steam client. I've had an amazing success rate in since I started running this. Many of the games are just running perfectly, and I'm like, wow, so gaming on Linux really doesn't suck like it used to. Go ahead, Deckard.
That actually reminds me of something here, and I hope neither of you have any articles on GOG, right?
Bring it on.
Okay, GOG has this new service where if you have purchased a game from back in the day, you can get a DRM-free digital download of it from Good Old Games, which supposedly is going to be targeting all three major operating systems, that being Linux, Windows, and macOS. So you'll be able to play your good old games from back in the day on Microsoft-only discs through a digital download on whatever distribution you want. So as Wine and Play on Linux get better and better, Good Old Games is offering DRM-free versions which are even more likely to run well on your system. So that's something to check out. There is a small list on Good Old Games website, so check that out. It's actually it's pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself, because I'm a good old school gamer.
And that is the truth, too, because I bought a copy of The Witcher when they had it on sale on Steam. I got it for like $2. And I just, rather than having it on DVDs, I figured, for $2, it's up on the cloud and I can download it whenever I want to. And then, and of course, installing from a hard drive is much faster than installing from a DVD. That's for sure. Well, all I had to do was I just had to give them the registration code that was assigned to me. And I was able to go on GOG and then download my digital copy. So yes, that is true. They have that indeed. Awesome stuff. So you guys should definitely check that out. My turn now. Looks like Google says Android malware has been cut in half. This is from an article dated April 2nd at securityweek.com. Google said Thursday that malware infections on Android devices have been cut in half in the past year following security upgrades for the mobile platform. In a security review, yay! Isn't that cool? In a security review for 2014, Google said it made significant strides for the platform, long seen as weak on security. Android security engineer Adrian Ludwig said in a blog post that the overall worldwide rate of potentially harmful applications installed dropped by nearly 50% between the first quarter and the fourth quarter of the year. Good news indeed. Toss, your turn.
Yeah, I'm actually running Ubuntu Mate Beta 2. That is out for testing. I'm actually running it now, and for a beta, it's actually quite stable. So I had to switch from Linux Mint to something I could trust even more, if that's even possible. So those of you out there who want to try something new, if you are new to Linux, I've always liked Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and so on. And Ubuntu Mate brings back, if there's such a thing as the classic-looking Linux desktop, the Mate version, the pre-Unity days of Ubuntu, guys, that may be it. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I'm running now, and I'm going to recommend to give it 2 big thumbs up and to check out the Ubuntu Mate because it's awesome.
I believe it's ubuntu-mate.org, but yeah, I definitely agree with you there. If there's any classic look, that's it. And when I was checking out the screenshots for that, it looks exactly like the first Linux distro I've ever run. So I have it in my downloads folder waiting to be installed in a VM, hopefully later tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check that out. It looks awesome.
I mean, it's not like snazzy looking or slick or anything unusual like, GNOME 3 or anything like that, but you can customize it to your heart's content. As long as it's stable, that's the number one thing I look for: stability, speed, and then special looks, the 3 S's of Linux. There you go. That's Toss's laws for beginners, the 3 S's. So keep that in mind.
Stable or horse stable now, Toss?
This is stable.
All right. Deckard, your turn.
Alrighty, so going back to a little bit earlier about Microsoft being open source, here's a cool article for you. Microsoft Visual Studio 2015 supports targeting Linux.
What?
So, yes. Every C++ developer that's been using Visual Studio in the 2015 edition, you will be allowed to develop for iOS, Android, Windows devices, Windows Server, or Linux. So you're probably going to be able to develop a lot of applications for all of these platforms with some pretty easy to use functions built into Visual Studio. Does that forgive it for being closed source product? I don't know. That's definitely a step in the right direction. And this is one of the things that I was thinking about earlier, with this article coinciding with the previous Microsoft article I had. What's going on in Microsoft land? They're doing more and more open source type things. So, maybe they will have some more open source products coming down the pipe.
Could be interesting. All right. Let's see here. All right, it's time for the nonsense report now, and I suppose we can start off with Toss's favorite topic, NSA.
Oh, I came back for this.
The NSA. Oh, you're gonna love this. Trying to bash down the NSA's gates can get you dead. Get this. The FBI publicly identified Tuesday the man who died Monday while trying to use an unauthorized vehicle tried to gain access to the National Security Agency campus in Fort Meade, Maryland, as Ricky Shazwa Hall. His passenger, who remains hospitalized Tuesday, has not been publicly identified. Now get this, Toss, okay?
Yeah.
Both of these guys in the vehicle were in drag.
Why?
I have no idea, but they were both wearing wigs and that sort of thing, and yeah.
Oh, I get it. The NSA is the National Sexy Association. Silly me.
Now, this was dated March 31st, but the thing is, I was thinking, this has got to be nonsense because I looked at the data on the article. But the thing is, it's got a video from CNN, 2 of them, where they were describing this. So, yeah, this facility is located between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. 6,000 military families reside on the post. 29,000 civilian employees, and it's the 3rd largest Army installation in the United States, and a lot of secret stuff going on there. So, yeah. And apparently what had happened was they crashed the gate, injured a police officer, and when that happened, they came out a shooting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what you got, Toss?
Well, as usual, I have a superior nonsense story. Let's see here. First, of course, we had... I'll wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, first we had, this is your favorite topic there, young soldier. First we had smartphones, smart watches. Now apparently we have smart ceiling fans. Yes, this was launched. Oh, wait, the best is yet to come. There are actually connected smart ceiling fans, and apparently these are really big ceiling fans. Because the name of this company is what else? Big Ass Fans.
Okay.
I don't. Yes, I guess they have a built-in Wi-Fi connectivity. They come in all different sizes, of course. When you have
Toss, wait a minute. Wait. You said the fan has Wi-Fi connectivity?
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me it needs to go on Google to get instructions on how to turn and cool the room?
I guess you can connect it to your smartphone, but the best part, of course, with a name like Big Ass, you must have a big ass price. They start at $1,000 and go up.
And
Shut up and take my money.
And the only person that's going to get one is the fool with the bread to buy it.
Well, I'm sure it's a very fine product from a reputable company. Nothing against them, but I'm starting to wonder, you buy a fan to cool down, right? Right. So instead of putting a big A fan in your room for $1,000, why not just buy 2 of those AC conditioner, those window air conditioners? Wouldn't that cool the room down better for less money?
Oh, much less. But then again, when you think about it in the long run, maybe the fan may use less electricity.
Yes, that is the theory behind it. I do believe. But anyway, yeah, this actually came out last year. There is a website. Check it out. It has a funny name. I don't think the price is funny personally, but hey, that's what they call them.
All right, cool
It
stuff.
kind of reminds me of another product. I'm not sure if we've talked about it before, but it was a smart tea kettle to which you can fill water with. Yeah, you can fill water with it, and on your phone you can open up the app, start the kettle, and when the kettle's finished boiling, it will send you a text message. Once you're done pouring the tea, it will prompt your phone asking if you'd like to tweet about the beverage you've just made. Like, what's going on, people? We don't need smart everything. Come on now.
Oh boy, yeah.
If people, that's the thing. Some people, that's their life. Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter.
Yes, because everyone wants to know about the tea you just made.
This will not end. This will not end. I got another story about smart, but go ahead, Spatchy. What do you have?
All right. Let's play stable or horse stable. Okay, and here is some facts about technology. Okay, first one, stable or horse stable. Deckard or Toss can chime in on this. The average computer user blinks 7 times a minute, less than half the normal rate of 20 blinks a minute.
I don't know about that one, Deckard. What do you say?
I think people are blinking so much because they're like, what? What's this now? Most computer users are pretty dumb, in my opinion.
Well,
I'm going to go ahead and say stable with that.
Yeah, I would think so too. Yeah, you're and that's probably why a lot of people have eye strain from looking at the computer so much.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Email has been around longer than the World Wide Web. Stable or horse stable?
Stable.
Yeah.
They used to use email in universities.
And bulletin board systems. I remember those. Okay, here's another one. Bill Gates' house was designed using a Macintosh computer.
Oh, boy.
Come on.
That's so ridiculous, I'd have to say stable.
Apparently, all of these are true. Okay. All right, here's another one. Inside the original Macintosh case, you will find 47 signatures for each member of Apple's Macintosh division as of 1982.
So the original Macintosh being the first Macintosh or the first Macintosh's first model?
Well, this would be the model as of 1982, the original Macintosh case. You'll find the 47 signatures.
I think the one that's in the museum does have the signatures from all the teams, so I'm going to go ahead and say stable.
Okay. The first computer mouse was invented by Doug Engelbart in around 1964 and was made of wood.
Stable.
That's true. Okay, here's one. On an average workday, a typist's fingers travel 12.6 miles.
Horse stable.
Mine probably only do 2. Okay, Alaska is the only state. Now, don't look at your keyboard. Alaska is the only state that can be typed on one row of keys on a USA QWERTY keyboard.
Stable.
Stable.
All right. On eBay, there are an average of $680 worth of transactions each second.
Wow. Stable.
Yeah, I'm going to go stable too.
Yeah,
Spatchy, these are cool, but they're not funny.
Oh, shut up. All right.
That was funny.
All right. Okay, here's one. HP, Google, Microsoft, and Apple have one thing in common apart from the obvious. You know what that is?
No idea.
They all started out in a garage.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
And let me see if there's anything else.
I have 3 quick ones when you're done.
Go ahead. Your turn, Toss.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Real quick. Stable horse stable. Escaped pig blocks Burger King in drive-thru in PA.
Stable, I saw that.
That's pretty funny. Thank you. Thank you again.
Not only was he blocking the drive-thru, but he was actually biting the customers trying to get through.
At a Burger King. I wonder why.
I was attacked by a pig on my way to Burger King.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oklahoma police seize Easter Bunny containing $30,000 worth of meth. Hey,
That's probably
I just
true.
read it now. It is true. It is true.
Oh God.
These are all true. I would never throw out anything, unstable. But anyway. All right. Finally, of course, keeping on the theme of smart, guys. What else? Apparently now we have something called a smart bag. Why not? Like a carry bag where you put your phone in. They call it, what do they call it? They call it the high smart bag, I guess, as opposed to low stupid. But apparently this bag has two round silver discs on the strap with Bluetooth chips, which connects to your phone and allows you to interface with your phone. I'm assuming to accept a quick call. But it's called the High Smart Bag. I believe this is a Kickstarter project. I don't know if there is a need for this. I'm not even sure if this is nonsense. It is unusual, but maybe there is a need for a High Smart Bag. How do you guys see it?
I think it's time for smart suppositories.
I can confirm that is stable, but I will leave you with 6 letters. GPS NSA. Enough said.
Of course.
All right, before we continue on with any nonsense, Toss, give me a number between 1 through 10, please.
9.
9. All right, and guess what? Number 9 means we are giving away Tropico 4 Steam Special Edition. Now, this game is a Windows game, but it uses DirectX 9C, and so probably should run just fine.
Yay, Windows! Yay!
It should run fine in Wine. But you're probably going to need a dual-core CPU for this and a graphics card with Shader Model 3. And basically, this looks like a building simulation similar to SimCity, where you build a beautiful city, recover from disasters, storms, and that sort of thing. And, of course, the winner that was selected is Ben Linux Fan. He is number 9 on my sheet, so Ben Linux Fan is the winner of Tropico 4, and I will PM you your Steam key. All right, what's next? Deckard.
Kernel.org was renamed to Herder Archives for the 4.0 release. If you go to imasheep.herder.org, you can access the kernel archives.
What's really funny about this, though, was somebody posted this on April 1st, and we thought that this was an April Fool's Day joke. And I'm just curious to know if that's gonna actually be a long-standing thing.
Well, it's a domain they purchased, so you can access the same website as kernel.org from imasheep.herder.org, but I imagine that it will stick because that's really funny.
Yeah, it is. What you got, Toss?
I have one final nonsense. This one, I don't believe it, but apparently this is true. It says here, alleged Kmart shopper wore a shirt that says dropping a load. This happened in Wisconsin. This person, I guess it was a woman, really? A woman did this? Is accused of urinating and defecating in a box at Kmart while wearing a t-shirt saying dropping a load. Oh, honey, sweetheart, did your Linux Mint break too? I'm so sorry. But I don't know.
Yeah, what's really odd about this is, she couldn't find the bathroom or something.
Well, you know what?
No idea.
I would laugh, but I'm not, because that is about the 5th article that I've read of people defecating in public places. And on my hunt today, looking for more funny articles, I actually came across a similar story of a woman in a busy hospital who turned a corner and dropped a load right there as well. So this is actually becoming a bit of a problem.
They must be having...
These are crappy topics, guys. You realize that, don't you?
Well, I think they're having problems with their GPS suppositories, yeah.
All right, gang. Well, we have run out of time. This has been another spectacular Sunday night news and nonsense report. Thank you, Deckard and Total OS Today, for joining me in this podcast. And thank you, all of you who have joined us in the listening room. Join us again next week for Sunday night news and nonsense. Join us next Saturday night at 8 p.m. for Cup of Linux game night. And we'll be playing Star Conflict and Open Red Alert. And one of these days, I got to sit down with Deckard and we got a plan on possibly doing another tournament down the line, that sort of thing. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can get more people playing the next time around. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Visit us at cupoflinux.com. Visit Total OS Today's YouTube channel. Well worth watching. He's always adding new content regularly. And come on in and throw a few pot shots at Deckard in the chat room from time to time. All right. Thank you, all of you, once again. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.
Say ciao, Spatry.
Ciao, Spatry.
Goodbye.